In lesson 1.7, we are going to learn how to multiply and divide integers. Again, we're going to have some rules. We're going to have the same sign and we're going to have different signs. Now, multiplying and dividing is a little bit different. In multiplication, if you have the same sign, this means it's always going to be positive. This is simpler than the addition ones, and the other problem happens when we start to get the two rules mixed up. Multiplying is always going to be, if we have the same sign, they're going to be positive. So you knew already 2 times 4 equals 8, but also a negative 2 times a negative 4 is also going to give you a positive 8. If you have different signs, then they're going to be negative instead. So if we have 2 times a negative 4, it's going to be negative 8. And in that same way, a negative 2 and a positive 4 is going to be a negative 8. And then the last rule is always, if you multiply anything by a 0, you're going, whether it's positive or negative, you're going to end up with 0. Now, dividing, again, if you have the same sign, it's going to be positive, and different signs are going to make it negative. So, positive 8 divided by positive 4, positive 2. Negative 8 divided by negative 4, positive 2. With division, we never feel quite as secure with our division as we do our multiplication. So I like to just do it backwards. Positive times a negative should give me a negative, and it does. Let's go to the different signs. A negative 8 divided by a negative 4, different signs gives me negative, that's a negative 2. A positive 8 divided by a negative gives me a negative, negative 2. And again, the 0 rule. Anything divided with 0 is going to give you 0. So, when we're finding a mean, we haven't talked about this yet, averages, if you remember that, mean. So a mean means, that we're going to take all of the data, we're going to add it together, and we're going to divide it by how many data points we had. And in this case, we have 6 of them. We're going to try to figure out what the mean or the average temperature for Antarctica is. So we're going to add those all together. You'll notice all of the temperatures when you go to Antarctica are all negative numbers. So we're going to add all of those negative numbers together, and we're going to end up with a negative, because they're the same sign, they're going to all stay that sign, 264 degrees negative. You just kept jumping to the left if you're thinking of a number line, divided by 6. Now you notice this is written like a improper fraction. If that still means division. So negative 264 divided by 6 is going to give me 44, but we have one answer that's positive, or one value that's positive, one value that's negative. So we have a positive and a negative. Different signs gives me a negative 44. That concludes lesson 1.7, multiplying and dividing integers.